and welcome to another Multilingual Monday. Today we're talking about cognates. Cognates are two words that look the same or sound the same, or at least are very similar in two different languages. These can be very helpful when working with English language learners to help them make connections between their home language and the English language. Let's look at what some of these cognates can be. Here are some examples of words that are cognates in English and Spanish. What's the difference between the two words you see on the screen? One is in English and one is in Spanish. But which is which? The only difference between these two words is the way you pronounce it in each language. Chocolate in English, chocolate in Spanish. This is a direct cognate where each letter is exactly the same. It's spelled the same way in English and in Spanish. Let's look at some other cognates. This is the word office in English. It's not a direct cognate. Each letter isn't exactly the same, but it's very similar, especially if you listen to the sound. Office, oficina. Office, oficina. Gymnasium, gimnasio. Not as much in the sound, but definitely in the spelling, we see a lot of similarities. Equation, ecuación. Sum, suma. History, historia. Those are just a few words that have cognates in Spanish. So, what if you don't speak the same language as your students? How can you find those cognates? Here are a few ideas. One way to find cognates is to use Google Translate or a similar program and to copy and paste a list of your vocabulary words or your essential words for a lesson or unit into the program, and then to see if there are any cognates. Here's some examples. Cause and effect, causa y efecto. Hyperbole, hiperbole. Setting, escenario. Well, that one's not quite a cognate. So, that might not be helpful. Or it might, because I can make a connection to the word scene in the word escenario and help them make that connection to what a setting is. Problem and solution, problema y solución. So sometimes I might find a lot of words that are cognates, and sometimes maybe not as many. But either way, I can always double check, and this only takes me a few seconds to do. Here's one more idea for finding cognates in the lesson you're working on. I can also use something like ChatGPT or a similar AI resource to scan a text that I'm working with and find the cognates. So for example, I could use a prompt that says, find Spanish-English cognates in this text. Then I click the plus button, and I can add a photo or a file. So if I had a PDF version of the text that I'm using, I could put that right here, insert it, and then it would find and make a list of those cognates. Now, it's always a good idea to run a list of cognates by someone you know who does speak that language, just because sometimes we have false cognates, which are two words that look the same or very similar, but they actually don't mean the same thing. And so we don't want any embarrassing miscommunication because we've identified something as a cognate when it's really not. But these are just a few ways that you can find cognates and use them to help your students make connections. Hopefully it's helpful.